Annyeong cuties! It's time for No Sugarcoat! Hello guys, welcome to our second episode. Today one is very, very special because we got two guests starting here with us, and we got...
My name's Jessica. I've been in Korea for 3 years.
My name is Nico. I've been in Korea for 3 months.
We have some Korea newbies here. But actually, Jess is more experienced in Korea than me because I've only been here for a year. But we have a whole bunch of different perspectives. Janet's been here for a while as well. So today we're going to be talking about how we ended up here and just about random things in Korea. So let's do a brief introduction for how you ended up in Korea, Jess.
It was kind of like my dream to move to Asia ever since I was in high school. So I looked into like different countries like Korea, Japan, or even like Hong Kong where my parents are from. And I did like a whole 2-month trip where I like kind of just tested out each country for like 3 weeks at a time. And I found that Korea was probably like closest to aesthetically what I like for like lifestyle, as well as like season changing, because I'm from Canada. I kind of enjoy having like 4 seasons and I'm not like dying of heat all the time. I think like, in general like Korea was probably like my top contender, and it's like pretty English friendly, so I didn't need to like know the language 100% before coming here, so I felt like it was a good place for me to try out.
Yes, oh my god, love. Okay, Nico?
So this is actually my second time moving to Korea. I did a semester abroad in 2021 at Yonsei University, and I loved it. My school had a partnership with Yonsei, so it was a very, very easy just like move here, transfer credits. I did only 1 class, and so I was like, I have to move back. I graduated university, and I thought, why not just teach English in South Korea? So here I am, back again.
Oh my god,
So
yes,
exciting.
love that for you. Okay, so can you share your first impressions when you've moved to Korea?
So I'm from Ottawa, the capital of Canada. Guys, it's such a boring city. So the first impression of Seoul was there's just so much to do. Whether you want to go out to eat, shop, play video games, get a facial, there's just endless things to do all times of the day. So just the opportunity to have fun was my first impression.
Oh my god, so how is it so different from Ottawa?
There's literally only like McDonald's, Tim Hortons, like a small shopping mall in Ottawa. So I'm the kind of person where I just like love to experience things and just like do new things. So I thought that moving somewhere with the ability to just, you know, pick up and do whatever you want, you know, was my, you know, dream.
Yeah.
So loving Seoul.
Yes. For those of you that may not be familiar with Canada, Ottawa is like just very only thing it's known for is its government city, the capital.
Girl,
I don't know.
nothing to do
It's
in that
very
damn
gray.
city. Gray, yeah.
Yes.
Also, the weather sucks. So being here, the winter isn't that bad. It's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as Canada. So yeah.
Oh, you're from Canada, right?
Yeah, you're the only one that's not
I'm
Canadian.
the only American, guys.
Okay, so Jess, how about you? What was your first impressions when you moved here?
When I first got here, obviously, I'm from the suburbs too. Not exactly like Ottawa, but like a little bit north of Toronto. So everything closes at like 10 p.m. And I realized after moving here, like the city never sleeps. Like everything's open super late and into the morning. I remember the first time I went clubbing in Korea, like I stayed out till 10 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
It was at least like, I want to say like 6 rounds of different places.
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
Yeah, compared to what I'm used to in Canada, it's definitely nothing like that. Everything closes super early.
But I mean, like, compared to, like, Canada, if you were, like, a normal Korean, I feel like if you said that you stayed out till, like, 10 a.m. while you're here, it's not as big of a surprise because
I feel like that's pretty
people
normal.
here stay out a lot longer. In Canada, for example, in Toronto, last call's 2 a.m.
Same.
Yeah, so if we are in Korea, there's no last call really, so we can drink it till whenever we want. So some people who like to go hard may wish to stay out till 10 a.m.
I've also seen people here like where they go out for like, let's say on a weekday, and then they go straight to work like right after in the morning at like 8 a.m. And I'm always like, how do you do that?
I can never do that.
Yeah.
She does that.
Yeah, I know. I
don't know
have
how
some
she
friends
does
that
it.
do that. It's actually crazy. Okay, that's awesome. Jenna, do you still remember your first impression when you were in Korea?
My first time was like actually when I was in second grade, because I moved here and lived here for a bit from like second grade to like middle school. But I really don't remember that much about it.
Yeah.
I just remember that I was like bullied
Oh, really?
when I was in second grade.
Why?
Because like I was from America, I could like I was the only one who could speak English, and this girl was like kind of jealous of me because I was like getting all the attention.
Oh my god, rude!
And then she literally gathered everyone around the bathroom and she was like, "Oh, don't play with Janet. Like, don't talk to her.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ever like speak to her."
Wait, but I actually see that really often after
Yeah.
being a teacher here for like 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids
Little-
are so like
Little girls
mean.
get jealous.
Yeah,
Really
no.
What
For
about
sure.
your like reintroduction to Korea as like an adult or like a? Because you
Um,
moved back
yeah.
after you went back to Chicago and then you came back to Korea, right?
Well, I was in Pittsburgh, and then
Okay.
I moved back to Korea. Honestly, it was like kind of toxic because I started working in Korea like right after I moved here.
Oh, okay.
So the work culture was toxic, like people there were toxic.
Yeah.
And also like the beauty standards were, like very different from like Korea, and like everyone was like, oh, like, you know, comparing me to like other like
Korean
girls with, like,
celebrities or
Korean
something.
standards.
Yeah.
so it was just very hard. It was just very toxic for me in the beginning.
Yes. Yeah. True. My first impression of Korea, both of us touched on it a little bit last time in our first episode, but my first impression was that so much things to do here, like all of you guys said. The only thing that I went head over heels for was the food difference. Because that's when I realized, like, oh yeah, I'm still Korean, because I go to Canada and I don't mind obviously eating burgers, fries, like whatever. But when I'm in Korea, I appreciated the soup culture here so much. I love soup, and I didn't realize how much I loved it until I came here, because there's so many variety of soup. So like, you're most likely to go have, I don't know, Danny's like American breakfast in the States after you go out drinking. As to when I come to Korea, everyone's like, let's go eat some sundaekkuk like we did.
You also notice that there's like a huge difference in, I guess, like the Korean food that they have in Toronto versus like here. Because I feel like in Toronto, they kind of like smash everything together. Like one Korean restaurant has like kimchi jjigae, 된장찌개, like 감자탕, like every single Korean dish you could possibly think of, they have it at that restaurant. But then because of that, I feel like because they don't specialize in one thing, it just doesn't taste as good. But then when I came here, like I think the biggest difference for me in terms of Korean food, I was like, wow, people don't actually eat pork bone soup every day. Like, it's such a huge difference.
Pork bone soup. That's so popular in Toronto.
It's so
Really?
popular. It's everyone knows. When you say Korean food, everyone's like, oh, pork bone soup. Like, we're gonna go eat pork bone soup.
Yeah.
But then when I came here, I realized that like barely anyone like eats it, and the restaurants are pretty spaced out. You can't like find it as common here. So I was like, oh, they actually eat it here.
No, because the restaurants in Toronto, they just have it as like a Korean food place. As to when you're in Korea, there's more specialty shops, like places that only sell pork bone soup, or places that only sell like samgyetang or something, like different types of soups. As to Toronto, it's just like all mushed into one. Like they'll sell pork belly like barbecue, but they'll be also selling like the most tteokbokki, it's like all together. So yeah, the food quality is definitely better in Korea, and I'm a big foodie, so I loved the food and like culture in Korea for sure, and shopping as well.
So how would you describe the friendliness of the people in Korea?
I would say everyone has been super friendly. No one goes out of their way though to like talk to you or to introduce themselves, but I find that if you just make the first step, I've only ever had a very, very nice, you know, reciprocal kindness back to me. I also think though that I give off a very, very friendly and welcoming vibe, so I don't know how it'd be if like, you know, a grown man was to ask a stranger a question. But, you know, from my experiences, I've had a very, very good experience.
That's good. What about you, Jess?
I think general friendliness, I have experience. Like if I'm on the street and I need like help, or I go somewhere to a store, all the workers are super friendly to me. If I just need to do something like every daily kind of activity, someone will definitely be very kind and like reach out to me if I ask for help. But I think in the workplace, it's a little bit different.
Workplaces
for me.
are very different.
Yeah. In terms of friendliness in the workplace, I would say not as much.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the difference in the workplace?
There's a very like clear difference between how they treat like Korean staff versus like foreign staff.
Okay.
It's a really, really big difference, especially when they know like, oh, you're not gonna stay here for like more than a year or two. Like the attitude with you kind of changes.
Really?
I remember at the first school that I worked at, everyone is like a teacher, right? Like equal teacher. If you're a Korean teacher, if you're an English teacher, you should kind of be treated the same. But at my first workplace, they would secretly hold kind of like birthday celebrations for the Korean staff. But whenever it was like a foreign teacher's birthday, we would get like, hey, happy birthday, and that's it. But they would like the Korean staff get like a whole cake, they like sing a song for them, they prepare gifts, they take pictures, like, and they would do it after all the foreign staff leave. And then one time, like, I saw it because I ended up like forgetting something at school, so I went back, and then everyone's just like in the gym, like celebrating,
That's
you know,
so
the teachers,
awkward.
like with a birthday cake and everything, and she was like wearing a little hat, and I was like, oh, okay, this is the difference in treatment.
Wow, that's actually shocking.
That's so unslay.
Okay, so you said that people are really nice here, but how would you compare them to Canadians? Is there anything like different between like Canadians and Koreans? Because I feel like personally there is.
Yeah, I think that Canadians, again, they go out of their way more to be like, wow, like, you look so good, great outfit, where's your bag from? Whereas here, people don't just like give compliments out on the street, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will say though, I feel like Korean people are a little bit more genuine in their compliments or how they speak to you. I feel like people in Canada be like, I love your skirt, where'd you get it? And then behind your back, like, I start seeing it.
Regina George moment.
Yeah. But I think that I'm blessed that I'm from a country where people are kind on the street or where you ask for help.
Yeah.
I don't know about America, but from Canada to Korea, I feel like I've been welcomed the majority of the time.
That's good. Oh, I'm glad you had a good experience. Actually, we went to Elote World yesterday.
How was that?
It was really, really good, but I did run into a little weird moment there because we went with a group of us, right? So we wanted like a group picture in front of the merry-go-round. And I was really shy, but I was like, hey, can you take a picture for us to like a random stranger? And then she just dead ass looked at me in the eyes and she was like, oh, sorry, like
We got rejected like 3 times.
Really?
yeah, that has never happened to
To
me
take a
before.
group picture.
It's just
it
like
takes,
one
5
picture, like
seconds.
Yeah.
it literally takes less than 5 seconds or
Yeah.
like something around that, right? And then they were like, oh, sorry, we're busy. And then they just like walked away and I was like in shock. I was like, what?
Oh my god.
And then the person that accepted us to take our picture was
Like a child.
yeah, like young. And then she was really shy, so I think she just said yes because she was shy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so like I felt kind of shocked by that because I know for a fact if I was in Canada and asked someone, I feel like they're most likely to say yes. But people in Korea mind their own business more, I think.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I don't know if that's always true, but yeah, that's what I noticed yesterday at the Elote World. What are some misconceptions of Korea that you've seen on social media?
Well, first of all, it's not a K-drama.
True.
The men here don't do what they do in K-dramas. Or if they do,
Oh my
there's
God.
ulterior motive.
All the Korea boos are very sad right now.
They're shaking left
And you can't just like bump into your favorite idol and be like, oh my god, he's like falling in love with me and stuff like that. Is not a thing.
Also, like, I've seen on TikTok where, like, girls, like, go on Tinder and they set their location on Korea.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, oh, look at all these cute boys in
Yeah.
Korea. There are no one like that on the streets.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
those like
Just so you know.
catfish. and
Yeah.
they
Oh my God.
Photoshop everything.
Yes.
That's not what they look like.
Korean
Are
men
there
are very
any
good at
catfish
photoshopping.
here?
There's so many.
Really?
So many.
Like fake profiles?
Yeah, so many.
They take like influencers' pictures and
Yeah.
just put it onto.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They have no shame.
Yeah.
How do they meet people?
Something about internet
Yeah.
in Korea
Yeah.
is like they're so shameless. Like they don't care
Yeah.
about what
Yeah.
they say.
Wow.
Like they think they can hide behind like computers.
Strange.
Yeah.
No, like one time I got catfished.
Really?
on
Really?
Tinder when I was in Korea.
Oh my god.
And I met up with the guy and he was like, oh, so am I like different from my pictures? And I was like, yeah. Very.
Oh my god.
You look very different.
No, like actually, dating apps are not that huge in Korea. So people that are on dating apps like Tinder, where they know a lot of foreigners might be on it, they might have different ulterior motives or being on that, or like. Just like people who fetishize like Asians, there are people in Korea that fetishize foreigners, stuff like that, or even like catfishers.
You know what's really funny? My first year in Korea, I remember I was like watching some Korean dramas, and then Tinder was trying to take off here.
Yeah.
They started doing like PPLs in K dramas, and they're like, "Do you have no friends? Like you can meet friends on this app." And I was watching it. I was like, "Girl,
I was like, that's not how
Beware.
what
Tinder
are
works.
you trying to do on Tinder right now? This is false advertising."
Yeah. Do you have any other opinions on what's true and untrue about the social media about like Korea?
Yeah, I think just that it's like this la la land where you'll get perfect skin here and you'll eat Korean barbecue every single day. Like that could be true about like it being la la land if you're studying abroad here. Like when I did, I was in la la land the whole 2 months. But working in Korea and living as an actual citizen of Seoul is a complete different experience. And you're in the real world here, you know,
Yes.
working, getting on the subway at, 8 a.m. with the rush hour.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
not fun and games like studying abroad would be.
I always tell my friends that like Korea is such an amazing place to like do short-term travel.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I told my
It's
friends
so
too.
great for
Yes.
short-term travel. I always recommend it to everybody so you can like sightsee and do everything that you want to do in Korea.
Yes.
But I like would not recommend living in Korea unless you have like really thick skin and
Yeah.
you like are ready to embrace this like
Yes.
really how do you say in English like bakse
Yeah, like very-
lifestyle.
yeah.
Hard life.
Yeah.
Very, very hard life. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not rainbows and sunshine.
I think it's just Korea in general is very glorified right now. It's very trendy. I mean, Korea does live up to the hype for sure, but there are definitely some ugly sides to it as well. Just like you said, all of the points that you guys said were very, very good, and I agree with most of them. What are some of the true conceptions that's going around in social media, would you say?
Just like how like cute everything is. Like there's always a cute cafe, cute bar, photo booth on every single corner.
Yes.
Like if your vibe is just like to like visually enjoy where you are, Korea is the place for you. You
Yeah.
know, there's always somewhere to take an Instagram photo or
Yes.
just to like dress up and go out. So yeah, I think like the TikToks and Instagram photos of like how cute everything is very, very true.
Yes, yes, I agree.
And I always feel like Korea goes above and beyond for aesthetics. So
Mhm.
even
Yeah.
every brand, every, cafe, they'll like do extreme interior so you can take lots of pictures. Or let's just say like Gentle Monster has like giant
Yeah.
things for you to take pictures of, things for you to actually see and like appreciate art and things that are pretty and aesthetic.
Yes.
So I do think like that is very true. If you want to come to Korea to experience that, I would say that's like a good reason to come.
Yes, I totally agree. So from a foreigner's perspective, Korean society has its own set of social norms and etiquette. Can you share any interesting experiences or cultural nuances that you encountered while living in Korea?
Yeah, I would say no talking on like the subway or the bus.
Oh yes,
Is
yeah.
something that I had to get used to. You know, being with your friend, going out, you want to chit chat, but to sit in silence. I was like, really awkward.
Yeah, no, once I was sitting on a bus and this guy was talking on the phone and the bus driver yelled, "No talking!"
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God.
I've never seen that happening.
No, that happened. I was like scared. I wasn't talking, but when I heard him yell, I was like, like.
I always see people like giving them the side eye whenever someone like talks really
I
loudly.
think
on
no
the
one ever
phone.
says anything, but everyone's like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
Bombastic side eye.
Bombastic side
Yeah.
eye.
Or even like just people respecting other people's like space. Like even like a baby was crying on the subway the other day, and I could tell it wasn't the people stopped, but they took the baby off because they didn't want to, disrupt people.
Yes.
Whereas in North America or wherever, like the baby's crying, the parents don't really care about other people's space and time.
Yeah. Okay, so we dabbled a little bit about Korean culture already, but let's talk a little bit more about that. Can you highlight some of the major culture differences you observe compared to your home country, aka Canada and America?
I just think the respect people have for the elders here is like a beautiful thing, and I think that more countries should, have this. I think that in Canada, like there's no place for elders to sit on the bus or the subway, and people don't get up. Like I've seen like crippled old women like standing up holding the little handles and like I'm already standing up, but like young people just don't want to get up. Whereas I feel like here like it's a expectation and almost like given to respect elders here.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah.
Even for like, I think the subway is really like unique how even though there's usually like spots for the elderly, like no one sits there even though there's no seats. It's kind of like a social norm thing that everyone knows, like, oh, we just don't sit in like the elderly seats, even though, there's no elderly here. Like just in case like someone comes, you should have like the free spot for them.
Yeah, no, for sure. What about you? What do you think is the difference between Korea and America?
It's been so long. It's been so long since I've been to America.
Oh, I have like dating culture difference.
Oh yeah, tell us about the dating culture difference.
So everything's, including lifestyle, is very fast-paced in Korea, I would say. So also, obviously, the dating style is, and ever since I started like dating in Korea, there's like few things that I noticed is that if you go on 3 dates and you don't become official, then you just get ghosted. So you literally only have like 3 dates to really get to know someone before that person's gonna be like, okay, you're taking too long. Like we're not doing this anymore. But I'm like, how can you really know someone, you know, after 3 dates? But I've had so many instances where I'm kind of like, hey, I want to kind of get to know you more, but they kind of take it as like a rejection, and then they're just gone. I'm like blocked by the next day. And then the other thing is that like I've had the words "I love you" said very, very soon every time.
True.
Usually in the second or the third date, it'll be said, and I have to have the conversation with them. Be like, hey guys, like that's not how we do it in Canada.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Multiple men at once.
Okay.
Look at you.
Expose myself, but
You're in a couple.
It's getting hot in here.
this is not how we do it in Canada. But yeah, like, there's like so many of those kinds of instances. Like everybody needs to move like into official grounds like super fast without really knowing each other. And then I have a lot of like instances where my friends will end up like dating for maybe like 1 week and then they automatically just like break up after, because obviously let's just say you get together on your third date. By like the 4th week that you guys know each other, you know, you're like, oh, I don't like this about them. Like, oh, I don't like this about them. And then so everybody's like really fast to get together and then really fast to break up. But I also think that's why dating culture is so big in Korea. There's like so many people that people get together just to do activities together. They like need to have a boyfriend in order to go to this event. They need to have a boyfriend to go to this like cafe and take pictures or go to Elote World. It's such a big thing here where I feel like a lot of people here don't enjoy being alone.
Yeah.
And also seeing so many couples on the street also makes them insecure and feel like they need to have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Seoul can be a lonely place, and if you're someone that like wants to be with someone all the time, you can feel very, very lonely, although there's so much to do here. You know, there's a lot of things you can do solo, but if you're the kind of person that you like feel comfortable with someone, you'll feel very, very lonely here. So advice to someone going to come to Korea, you have to be comfortable being by yourself.
I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Also on Instagram, like whenever I'm on Instagram, there's always a hashtag like Lovestagram.
Lovestagram?
Yeah.
I didn't know about
You don't know about
Is that a thing?
Instagram.
They post like Lovestagram.
What is Lovestagram?
like,
It's like
couple
make their
pictures.
own Instagram account and then
I
they
hate
only
that.
post pictures.
Yeah.
So
It's so
cringe.
common here.
But what, like, who's the audience?
Just like anybody,
Anyone.
and then they just
What?
want to like get people to like be like, oh, you guys are such a cute couple.
Yeah.
And then they'll like
Really?
post stuff with like lots of hashtags and everything.
They always put like hashtag Lovestagram.
Yeah, the couple look culture here is pretty big. Like they wear a lot of like same hats or same
I
t-shirts.
love that, though, to be
That's
honest.
cute. Yeah.
With friends. I love matching with my friends.
I can't.
Really?
I can't do it.
I don't think like exactly the same like cookie cutter like two people wearing the exact same thing, but like having matching things like
Yeah.
same brand like I don't know like shoes or
Yes.
like kind of that kind of thing. That's cute. But if you guys are like exactly the same head to toe like
Yeah.
accessories like hats
Yeah.
like then I feel like that's a little cringe.
And there's like online shopping malls here in Korea that specialize in couple clothing items and thrive off of couples basically.
I also noticed that, especially after like trying to make friends here for like 3 years, there's a really big difference I feel between like people who have like some experience abroad versus like actually like being born and raised in Korea. I feel like the people that I've become friends with that are like Korean, they don't really reach out past their like high school circle. So a lot of my friends, when I go like, oh, like who are you hanging out with? They're like, oh, my elementary school friend.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking like, how many people do I still know from elementary school? But it's so common that like everyone kind of just like, once they become friends with someone from a really young age, they don't really go beyond that. It's actually even rare these days for people to tell me that they're friends with people from university.
Yeah.
It doesn't really go past that. I've never heard my friend go like, oh, I'm going to eat dinner with my friend from work.
Yeah.
Like that's not really
Yeah.
like a thing here. I
The
think.
alumni culture in Korea is huge. As to if you go to, I don't know, college in Canada, my brain is farting.
Restart that.
The alumni culture here is so big compared to Canada because honestly, I did make lots of friends in college. However, I don't think they don't have like that chant, for example, when you go to festivals or even just festivals in general, there isn't that team spirit like that.
I
in
think that's
Canada.
only a Canadian thing because America has that school spirit that Canada does not have.
Yeah, but actually, like I was talking to my friend who went to the school in States, and she was telling me that even then she experienced Yonsei here versus her school back in Chicago. It was completely different.
It's really
yeah.
Wow.
Because I thought that too, because sports is really big there, right? So there's like
Huge.
cheerleaders, and I thought there would be chants for their sports team and stuff like that. But apparently, Korea is just on a different level.
Yeah,
But-
Canada's here.
Yeah, no, but I think Korea is all about kind of like that togetherness thing, and people just make really good friends when they're in school, so they don't really go outside of it. And since work is taken so seriously here, it's like harder to, I guess, make friends at work because it's taken as more like professional job, and you don't want to be associated with your work outside of your work hours. Yeah. Next question, we're gonna talk about work. So we all clearly have worked in Korea and worked back in our home country. Well, you've only worked in Korea though, right?
Yeah, I've never worked in America, but like I hear stories about like the
Right.
work culture in America.
Right. Okay, so can you guys tell us some of the differences between working in Korea versus in Canada?
I will just say to teach English here, do your research. If you want to live in Korea and that's why you want to come here, that's great.
Yeah.
If you don't look really, really deep into the school you're teaching at, you will be miserable. These schools take foreign teachers for a damn ride, and if you do not go in there and stand your ground, you'll be worked to the bone. The kids will walk all over you. The management walks all over you. There is little to no boundaries as to how much work they're able to give you. You know, you're in their country, working in under their rules, their laws. You can't just quit and go to the next school because you know they put you in a apartment, and under our visa terms you can't just like quit spur of the moment. So I learned that the hard way, but I would just recommend to do research.
I would say that the work laws for foreigners, obviously the laws will favor like the Koreans. So let's just say your like school or your company like wants to like fire you. They can like, there's so many like different reasons that they can put and like go through to kind of like get rid of you without any kind of like struggle on their part. They could like literally like fire you just because like they don't like you, and as long as they gave you enough warnings, they can actually just let you go and like kick you out of the country.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, so like you also can't change. I don't know if people know this about teaching, but once you're assigned into a contract, you're basically like locked into it because your visa is associated with the school that provided you with it. And to get out of that visa without leaving the country, without being deported, you need to receive like a letter from them that's called like the letter of release. And if the school doesn't give you a letter of release, you are automatically like obligated to leave the country within 2 weeks after being fired. And you have no choice. If you want to work in Korea again, you have to do the whole visa process all over again, apply to a new school, and then I think there's also going to be a record on your visa though that you were fired from your previous job. So it's very much in the hands of the school. You have to kind of like you kind of walk on eggshells with them, make sure you don't like do anything wrong. And it kind of gives your management and your school kind of like a really huge like power imbalance. So it's really, really important to do your research and to know that you should pick a school or a company that's not going to take advantage of you, because they know these things. They know that like they can treat you however because you can't leave. Like, you are legally like stuck to them.
Wow, that's kind of messed up.
I know.
So these are some of the ugly parts about Korea that you guys need to keep in mind. It's not always
I have to
flowers.
put this disclaimer in there. They do put these laws in. I'm not saying Korea is bad for doing these laws, because they do have to put these laws in because there are midnight runners in the industry where some people just like freak out after teaching and like it's too stressful for them, and they actually just like book a plane ticket and leave. So because of that, they have these like really strict laws. But then I think because the laws are in place, the schools go like, oh, well, now I know I have like the upper hand.
Like a flip.
Yeah, there was a flip. I mean, I don't think the laws were put in place for this reason, to give them the power. But now that they have the power, they're kind of like, oh, I could take advantage of this.
I see. Wow. I mean, I came to Korea with a tourist visa and I'm so grateful, but definitely if I was here under like for work, I feel like I would be definitely a lot more stressed for sure.
Honestly, I have like a dual citizenship, so like I've never had like a visa problem or anything. But
I have a dual citizenship.
It's really interesting to hear about all these things.
Yes, I do have a dual citizenship as well.
My friends, like my Korean friends, are always like, "Oh my god, like you have to go through so much." I'm like, I have to go through a lot.
We're privileged.
Very privileged.
What are some of the unique aspects of Korean work culture that you found interesting or challenging?
I was really lucky because I was working during the pandemic, so we didn't have to do 회식 that often. But I've heard from my other like teachers and friends that worked here before that they have like a really strict like 회식 culture where sometimes like work dinners.
Oh.
Yeah, so they have to go to work dinners, and then Koreans like work hierarchy culture. You have to be like, oh, to the director. And you gotta drink with them. If the director doesn't want to go home, you gotta stay, and then you have to look at all these like nunchi things. And
there's a big like kiss ass culture.
Yeah. And then I was like so thankful that I didn't really have to do that because I'm not good at controlling my facial expression. So my director could definitely see that.
Okay, next question. Since Korea is widely known for their rigorous education system, have you had any interactions with the Korean education system, either as a student or through interactions with students? What are your observations?
My morning kindergarten students sit in their seat from 9 to 3. That is so long with only 1 hour of playtime per week. Half an hour on Tuesday, half an hour Friday. As a 5-year-old, that is literally outrageous. And the behavior in my class is kind of bad. But I think it's because they're kids and they need to exert energy. The education in Korea is so strict that it would lead students to being depressed. And I'm sure it does.
No, definitely I felt the same way because at my school, kids would get there at 2:30 and then leave at 9:30.
Terrible.
It's crazy. I was like, what? They're 9 years old and they're already staying out. They came out when it was bright outside and it's nighttime when they're going home. And they're like, teacher, I'm hungry. At my school, they didn't give food. They if they want to eat, they can have little snacks in between or something. But obviously not all of the students stay for that long, but for the ones that are always saying teacher, I'm hungry, I'm I feel bad because I want to be here, have a little snack, but I don't even know if I'm allowed to do that, you know. But yes, so overall Korean students do have a lot more stricter here. However, it is worth coming to Korea for the amazing life experiences, and we do appreciate Korean culture a lot. And I just want to thank you guys again for coming, Nico and Jess.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, this is such a special second episode. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify as well. Give us a rating on Spotify as it helps us out a lot. And see you guys on the next one. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.